Welcome to Virtually News. Okay guys, welcome back to Virtually News. This is the monthly segment that we do on the channel where we talk about what's happened across the VR metaverse for the last month. Yeah, there's been some stuff this month. There's been some stuff. So the first thing I want to talk to you guys about today in Virtually News is that Sony are confirming making another headset. Bum, bum, bum. But don't click off the video just yet. Don't be like, bruh, I don't use PSVR. Do one. I'm a PC VR guy. Yeah, well, me too, dudes. But don't click off just yet because it's about to get interesting. Now, PSVR has held its own in the marketplace for a very long time now. It's a very stable part of VR. Now, is it the best device? Certainly not. Is the tracking the best? Definitely not. You've got about 180 degrees of freedom compared to virtually every other device the way you have full true 6 degrees of freedom. But anywho, all of those facts aside, it still has sold a whopping 5 million plus units in its time of existence. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's very, very accessible for people to get into. Not only is it cheap to buy into, but most people already own it. I mean, there are over 100 million PS4s in people's houses. That's quite a few, guys. So it's made it very, very accessible for anyone to be able to pick up and get into. I mean, you can go just about anywhere and buy a PSVR for a few £100, secondhand, even super cheaper. But nonetheless, you will get a nice entry into VR, and the experience itself is, you know, not the best, but it's far from the worst. So I would say that it's good. And not just that, they do have a catalogue of very good games that I think most of us PSVR users, most of us PC VR users would be kind of envious of. I mean, I'm not sure about you, but I would have loved Iron Man to come across, and I would love Blood and Truth to be ported to PC VR, because that game would have been sick if it had been on PC. But anyway, nonetheless, those games are still there. I personally still own the PSVR and use it alongside with my other headsets as I'm a content creator. But those aren't the things that we're here to talk about. Now, PS5 dropped and there was no news of PSVR 2. Now, the thing that we're here to talk about today is they posted a job listing for 15 new employees with this quote. The listing stated via Google Translate that we are developing the next generation VR head-mounted display, and the company is on the hunt for a team of around 15 people that will be in charge of mechanical design for a lens barrier supported optical system, small and lightweight housing, heat radiated design, development for a jig for optimal system evaluation, etc. Now, what does this mean? What it means to me personally is they're looking to probably build a independent, standalone VR device. That, my friends, sounds pretty exciting to me. Now that's exciting, guys, because it could be why they're holding off on the PSVR 2 news, because they may be making a Sony VR headset. And I know that sounds like, well, that's the same thing. It's not necessarily, because if this is a big just Sony project opposed to a Sony PlayStation project, then it means they're going to have even more funding towards it. And it also means that, like I say, this could be a standalone device, something where it doesn't need to be tethered to anything. It could be a competitor to the Quest, which I think we all know would be a real nice thing, because, you know, there is no competitor to a standalone VR headset that is as good a quality as a Quest right now. The marketplace could do with it, and quite frankly, I think Sony could be the people that would actually come in and sort of stomp on it and make it even better. Their screens are good, they have incredible technology, and I think that they have the funding to actually bring us something that would be incredible. Now, how about this though? What's that, Rhys? You've got an idea? Yeah, I do have an idea actually. I'm thinking, what if this new device would be the standalone headset, but what if its link capability would be to link up to the PS5, therefore making it an even more powerful device? And then, seriously though, what if it did do that? If we could have a standalone device that would be part of your day-to-day life, didn't need to have it tethered to a PS5, but if you tethered it to the PS5, it would be like the link cable, then making it more powerful and more useful for more powerful and demanding games. So, question mark there, could be, could not be, who knows be, but from what we're seeing, it's looking quite likely to be a standalone device, and also, I would say, if they have any brain about them, they would 100% make what I've just said a reality. Because man, it would make it not only a contender, it would make it punch it out of the park, because most people are going to end up in the console war, you know, buying an Xbox or a PS5, sorry. If they do go for PS5 with the acknowledgement that they're going to be able to get a standalone VR headset that will also connect to it, well, that would push the sales through the roof, and quite frankly, Xbox has nothing to do with VR at this point. So, you know, they're missing out big time there, and it could push the sales in the other direction. The next thing I want to talk about is the Facebook Horizons. Now, Facebook Horizons has been around for a while, been spoken about for a while, but we haven't seen a great deal of news on it as of lately. I'm pretty much expecting that the F8 conference that they're probably going to talk about it, as we've had kind of a real little cheeky taste of it. Now, if you're not sure what Facebook Horizons is, it's pretty much going to try and be the virtual Oasis. A place where you can go, socialize with people, play games, step into a universe together with your friends all in one hit, and make it somewhere where it's fairly seamless to be able to walk between games, have places to relax, innovate and make your own stuff, alongside with probably the meeting possibility of it as well. So you've got the huge social aspect of it, the huge gaming aspect of it, and pretty much what you want to make of it aspect of it. Seems like a really exciting idea, and probably about the closest that we have to sort of like that metaversey sort of Oasis world that we're all kind of dreaming of as VR users, as a place where we can go and have a big interconnected place. If they were to do it, I'm really hoping that they open it up to not just Oculus devices. I would hope that it would open it up to anyone in VR, so that it would have a very nice centralized hub for anyone to go and enjoy spending time with their friends. But anyway, all of that stuff aside, that is pretty much the outline of what Horizons is. But we had a little cheeky taste of it. Well, some of us did. Some of us that were allowed into the beta. Not me. I didn't get allowed to go into the beta. But anyway, venues, which the reason everyone is basically saying that this is just like Horizons is because they're using the same avatars, very similar sort of system, and venues is a place where you can go meet people, go to theatres, concerts, walk around museums, and do a few other little bits and bobs. So it's looking exciting. If that is what it is, and that's the beginning of the Horizons, and like I say, we'll really find more about this after the Facebook conference, then that could be pretty exciting. I'm really sad that I didn't get to sort of give it a go, but you know, perhaps when it comes around, as soon as it does, we'll do more on the channel and talk a little bit more about that, and just kind of a bit more of an in-depth look at it. But I really need to actually get into it myself, and then I can cast a true opinion of whether it's going to be a VR Oasis or a VR nobody cares about. Now, it's not the only reason that Facebook's been in the VR news lately, is it? Let's be honest, there's been quite an uproar. Now, Facebook over the last sort of 6 years has really pushed VR into the place that it truly is right now. I mean, bearing in mind, we have gone from a Kickstarter campaign to Facebook obtaining Oculus to really 5 million plus headsets being sold via them, and really pushing VR to where it is. So, you know, as much as people don't want Facebook to be a part of VR, sadly they are, and also they are really the pushing force behind it right now, which I said, I think previously in the Sony part a bit ago, you know, we really do need that competition, and we really could do with a competitor, but right now we don't have one. We have Oculus and the other various headsets, but let's be real, Oculus are kind of holding the grasp upon a lot of people. You know, Valve and their Valve Index, of course, is top tier stuff, but the accessibility and the pricing of it pushes a lot of people to Oculus. So, you know, but where we are right now is that people are peed off at the fact that for a new account, you're going to be forced to log in via your Facebook. So your Facebook and your Oculus account will essentially be the same thing, one and only. And people are kind of peed off about that. It was promised that it would never happen when Oculus was sold to Facebook, and they always said that they would never integrate the two together, but yet here we are 6 years down the line, and it's now becoming a reality. Now, people are pretty peed off about that for various different reasons, which we will go into later in this segment, but you know, essentially now new users will have to do that. Existing users, we're going to be given until 2023 to basically do it. You know, at this point you might as well give in, but regardless, you've got until 2023 if you have an existing account to change over and merge your accounts, so your Oculus and your Facebook become one. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, you may as well give in and do it if you're going to keep the device, because your Oculus account will become obsolete once that time period is up, and that will be that. Now, as many of you are probably aware, you actually already require a Facebook login to do majority of things on a Quest anyway. If you want to share or do any of the media applications, as in sharing, live streaming and doing anything like that, or socializing, then yes, you already needed to log in with a Facebook account anyway. So from that point of view, I don't know quite why people had the outrage that they did over it, but I get it on the whole, you know, don't get me wrong. This isn't just my opinion at this point, I'm just outlining the facts so you know it, so don't hate on me just yet. Just yet. But no, seriously, I can see why people are kind of pissed about it, but at the same time, you can understand that some aspects of this have kind of already been integrated and there for quite some time at this point anyway. It just seems like people let it go under the radar up until the point they said that they are going to hold your hands, bind them together and force you to do it. Now, some of the pros for this happening, when this essentially does merge into just becoming Facebook instead of Oculus, I'm pretty much assuming that's the way it's going to go at this point. The only pro that I can see from that is it will push VR through the roof. Now, the reason I say that is you kind of have this sheep mentality when it comes to social media, that if you see Jane down the road has enjoyed playing the last 18 hours of VR across this week, when you log in and see someone just been in VR, someone else has just been in VR, you may be more likely to go and pick up VR for yourself because you're like, hey, why do I keep seeing everyone's doing this but me? I'm the only one that hasn't done it yet. I'm the only one. Why am I the only one? Why haven't I done it yet? Well, that's where Facebook are good at what they do, and they'll like encourage that sheep mentality to basically get more and more people interested in the subject. So from the pros section of things, like if you want to look on the brighter side of things, like, I mean, most of us that are in the VR community want this to succeed, I would imagine, because you paid a lot of money to be in it, just like me. So, you know, we all want this to succeed and we want this to go somewhere. So from that point of view, Facebook are going to be the people to push it. I have said several times in this video already, but I really want a competitor to come out. So if the Apple thing really does pay off and they do make a headset, or if Sony really does pay off and make an incredible standalone headset, if these things actually happen and fall into place and we have like 2 or 3 companies that are fighting over this, well then yeah, it's going to get better and better. But at this point, quite frankly, you know, Facebook could tell you tomorrow that they want you to fucking upload a picture of, well, at this point, Facebook could tell you tomorrow to upload a picture of your birth certificate and a picture of your butthole, and if you don't, then you don't have an account, and you wouldn't have any choice but to comply anyway. So it's kind of sucky that there isn't a second option out there that's better suited to all of the things that you actually want, like an open platform where you don't have to log into friggin' Facebook just to get into it. Something that people have been throwing around quite a lot is, oh well, and I'll just make a fake account. I 100% wouldn't recommend that you make a fake account to log into your Oculus account, because what will happen is if they find out you're a fake account, and they do delete accounts very, very regularly, it's a big thing, they are quite on it, you will lose your entire games library. So is it really worth it in the long run, losing hundreds of pounds worth of games and never being able to touch them ever again because you gave a fake account and you cannot log in? Now, let me tell you from not experience, but from knowledge of this, that if you make a fake account and you do lose it, it's incredibly hard to chase back up, and Facebook are not the type of sort of company to really make it very easy for you to deal with. I really recommend that you don't make a fake account to do this. If you're going to do it properly, or don't do it at all. Those are really your 2 options. Is it really worth losing all of your game library and everything that you've got on your Quest just for that? I don't think so personally. I don't think it's the answer, so I'm not recommending that you do that. I think it's a poor idea. Will I still recommend Oculus products? Yeah, I totally will, because as far as I'm concerned, they are still some of the best products on the market. Even with its flaws of having to log into Facebook, I would still recommend buying a Quest to someone, and I would still say that it's great equipment, you know, because it doesn't take away from the fact that it's a great equipment. It just is a shame that Facebook have got their claws in it, and that's that. So that's my opinion. Like it or lump it. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comments on that sort of stuff. I do, you know, but let's have a pleasant conversation about it. I don't want to have just people being D-bags down there. You know, if you've got a good valid point, then let me know, and I would like to have like an educated conversation on it, opposed to because that doesn't get us anywhere. In other news, boom! Stride is out as of today in early access, and it is exciting news. Whew. If you don't know what Stride is, it is a free running game where it essentially mirrors Edge in VR. Now, it's pretty exciting. I can honestly tell you that it is legitness good. I have played it myself. They sent me a key over. I haven't put any footage out because there was an embargo on it, so I couldn't put anything out, but I have played it. I've put about 15 hours or so into it so far. Very, very cool game. At the moment, I think it's just the endless mode that's coming out because it's part of the early access. Look into it. So I recommend it, man. Buy into it. It's really, really fun. Really, really good control system to everything. It felt very fluent. It felt very exciting to play. I couldn't recommend it enough. I feel like they hit every single promise that they've made for it so far. Zero motion sickness. That's not a thing at all. The way they've handled it is very, very well done. So all in all, go get it in your life. It came out today. That's my gaming news for the month. Like, that is the game I care about the most. Real nice. Also, PPS, House Flipper VR came out for the Oculus Quest today as well. You should get that in your life. Do it. Do the music. Now for the part of the video that you probably clicked on it in the first place to find out for. Mind Control VR. Now, that sounds futuristic AF, does it not? But, it's not as far off as you think. It's looking like we may be getting something coming our way this year. Neurable is due to release a device later this year, as said by them. Now, Neurable have been developing EEG technology in order to help scientists and doctors and disabled people. That's pretty much been their goal for a long time, to basically enable disabled people who, you know, fully disabled, enable them to do stuff with their mind, like drive the wheelchairs, do various other tasks. That's kind of the aim behind EEG technology, and has been sort of the driving force alongside it. Myself, I'm very interested in this. I find it fascinating that they can help people in that way, and geez and crow, if you were unlucky enough or unfortunate enough to have something that causes you to have that, then having that chance in life to be able to do things for yourself still would be an incredible option. For me, it's very close to home, and my daughter suffers with something called SMA, which is a muscle degenerative disease. So that kind of thing for me is something that really could be the future of the world for disabled people, and you know, it's something very close to home for me. So for me, like, I've said that so many times, for me. But anyways, for me, this is a really big deal, like this sort of technology. But the way we're talking about it today is something entirely different and also the same. But nonetheless, they're talking about using EEG devices to use with VR. Now, EEG technology isn't technically reading your mind sort of technology. It doesn't read what you're thinking and then, you know, go from there like, I just thought of fish, I see a fish kind of thing. It's more to do with other things. But what they're claiming is it's their algorithm that they've developed, which is going to make it something special. So basically, what we're saying there is the more people that use it, the smarter it will become, the better and more efficient it will be at doing it. So the more you use your own headset, the smarter it will become, and I guess the network of everyone using them, the better it will be able to read and anticipate what it is that you're trying to do in virtual reality. This could assist you in your gameplay, essentially. So we're talking about your concentration on items and things like that. So if you've got your hands in there, say for instance you're in your index and you've got all your finger control, going to pick up something. How many times have you gone to pick up something and accidentally picked up the thing next to it on the desk because it's like magnetized your hand and you kind of peed off because you're like, man, I just wanted to grab that cup, not the pencil. You know, we're talking about stuff like that. So if you're then looking at that item, you could then grab that item, and, you know, through the association with it, knowing what you're thinking to a degree, it would then make you pick up that item. It would assist you in the game in that sort of way. So we're talking about that, movement, things like that, all of these things tying together. What it could do is just assist your gameplay in making it more realistic for yourself, because your thoughts and things will actually assist in making it a more realistic experience for yourself. Now, I don't know if that makes sense or not, but that's my thoughts on the situation, and that's my thoughts and my opinions on what I've gathered from what they're saying, is it will be more of an assistance to you in VR, doing and accomplishing the tasks you're trying to do, i.e. picking up stuff, pulling out the weapon that you were expecting to. Stuff like that could be phenomenal for me, because I personally find that when you've got like these different various sections of your body that you can grab a weapon from in a game, or a sword or whatever it be, sometimes the game can get confused, you know, you're grabbing the wrong thing out, or you're not grabbing the right bit at the right time. But if it was tied into your thought process and you're like, you know, it's indicating that you're thinking about doing this, so you're going to pull out that right weapon at the right time, all of those things that could just make it more fluent. Where my mind goes with this and where I get kind of excited with this is then let's imagine a game being developed, say for instance, later down the line when this technology is more established in the community, that would adapt to the way that you're feeling. So if you're stressed out, obviously it can sense that, then the game would adapt to your situation, you know? And imagine just how, like, a game adapting to your thoughts and feelings towards it. So say for instance like a horror game, you know, like the scarier you got, the more intense it could make it, but if it's too intense, then it could dial it back a little bit, you know, make it a little less ridiculous so that it's not going to actually put you off the game. Or say for instance like an action game where it could tell if you were being interrogated, I'm stressed out right now, you know, giving your answers. Let's just say like all of these things, like all of those things tied together could make for an incredible experience. I don't know, man, I'm just talking at this point, I'm getting excited. But nonetheless, the technology is looking to be coming out later this year. They haven't said much for the form factor, although they have sort of leaked out a few little bits saying that it could be in a form factor of like headphones. If it is, that is going to be an incredibly comfortable way to wear a device like this. Don't know how much it's going to cost at the moment. Is it going to be outrageously expensive? Who knows? If they're smart, it'll be a very accessible price because then more people will buy into it, therefore making their algorithm stronger, because that's essentially what they're saying is going to happen for it. So it's very, very exciting. I think the thing is with VR news is unless you're consuming it every single day of your life, there's a lot of stuff to go by you, and you may or may not know about some of the things that are coming our way. And that's kind of why I do this segment, because I like to keep you guys up to date and on the ball with what's actually going on. But you know, people don't realize how close we are to actually having some of these things in our life. Devices that are going to help us, you know, relay our thoughts into the game to assist us. Haptic gloves, we're talking controlling everything with just gloves in virtual reality so that you don't have to have a physical thing, you know, something that could actually stop you when you're holding a gun in a certain position, or all of these things that they're very close to being something that's just in your home. Haptic suits, again, from things like the Tesla suit and stuff. We're looking at having stuff like this accessible and in your home, you know, soon. This isn't like a million miles away. All the Tobii eye tracking stuff that's been going on. Again, the next generation of headsets are probably going to have that built into it, so your eye tracking is going to suddenly become a thing, you know? There's so much coming our way in virtual reality that I think we're really just scratching the surface of what we can and can't do in it. And really just scratching the surface of the future that a lot of us have dreamt of, and, you know, it's coming our way. So it's very exciting to be a part of this, and I love virtual reality, and it's a big part of my life, as you know, from the gaming that I do on this channel to the news that we talk about and the various other subjects that I cover on the channel. So yeah, guys, girls, I hope you've enjoyed this. If you've enjoyed virtually news, then please do smash the like button, subscribe if you are new, and of course check out some of this dope merch, dudes. Look at this, the official top that I stroked the wrong side of, the official top. Lovely embroidered hats. RDK, it's the only way. Seriously though, go check out some of those merch if you want to support the channel. It really does help out quite a lot. And I will see you in the next Virtually News next month. See you then. Bye bye.